it's rare, and those movies I think you can really remember the ones where you're on this kind of thrilling ride and you're on the edge of your seat and yet you're also emotionally really engaged. And I think because this is about a family who has to go through something this drastic to come together, I found that to be really, it really got me in, and I felt like I certainly haven't been a part of a movie that has those particular elements, and it's something that I'd really want to watch. San Andreas is a movie about Ray and Emma Gaines, who are actually now separated. Dwayne Johnson plays Ray. I play Emma. They're now separated, and the reason they separated was because they had 2 daughters. They lost one of them in a rafting accident, and it was on Ray's watch. And he has never been able to reconcile with that. And they have a remaining daughter, Blake, who is really, you know, she's 19. She's their prized possession of their, you know, they're sort of the love of their lives, and that's kind of what's kept them just in a good relationship. And so at the beginning of the movie, these divorce papers are finally sort of being served, even though they have an amicable relationship, and the biggest earthquake in history hits. He's always had all these great elements, and obviously has a great amount of success, and people, you know, you don't need me to say, people love to watch him. He's just so great, and in this genre, what I think is really sort of worth mentioning is that in this particular movie, I think he does go to emotional places that he hasn't gone to probably in many movies, that's coupled with this incredible action. This is the biggest movie that I have been on the set of where it looks like that. Meaning, my first day on set, before I was shooting, I had come to do like a camera test, and I walked over and I saw a girl hanging in a car on a cliff that had been made on the back lot with the biggest fan you've ever seen in your life, blowing dust. And then the camera, you know, it's so crazy. And I literally felt like I was like, I'm on the back lot of a movie, you know? And then you walk into the gimbal stages. I mean, every set piece is more kind of awe-inspiring than the next. This movie is gigantic, and again, Brad had really wanted to do as much stuff in camera as possible, and there's an incredible previs, you know, there'll be incredible effects in this movie, but what's great is they're being balanced by really practical stuff. So I think a lot of the stuff, that the effects will be there to create a real world around us with things that obviously we can't create, like San Francisco, you know, being destroyed and all these things. But there are also a lot of things that we're actually doing and that are actually built as practical sets. I've never done wire work until this movie. And this movie has required a lot more on a physical level than any movie I've ever done. And so I think what's so exciting to me about it is, again, that it keeps coming back to being grounded in the emotion of it, and yet I get to do all of this kick-ass action. So the combo, I think if it was only action, totally for me, personally, is a very personal thing, I think I would eventually get a little bit bored. And yet being able to have these really compelling emotional lives and work with Alan Poppleton, who's our amazing stunt coordinator, and his whole team, they're just incredible, and do some really amazing stunts has been super exciting.
Hey there, Valerie here with an interesting fact from the movie The Usual Suspects. During the film, Verbal Kint says, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing men he didn't exist." This quote is from the French poet Charles Baudelaire, and it also appears in another movie featuring Gabriel Byrne and Kevin Pollak, End of Days. That's all for today. I'm Valerie, and remember to subscribe for all the latest trailers.